Yeah, the topic of my video today is don't use your age to be lazy. I'm going back in the time that I came up. Them old papas that couldn't read and write, they'll get up when the rooster crow. They'll get up before the sun rise and be ready to go to work. You know, some of them work 6 days a week, some of them work 7 days a week. Some of them work for themselves. They were hard working, man. You can see it in the physique. They didn't have no belly, no gut. They was hard working men. But in this young generation now, they want to be on the phone, on the TV.
Playing video games.
Yeah, and don't know when to eat, when not to eat, And they just 24/7 eating, gaining weight, And a whole lot of young people, they're diabetics. Diabetics. We didn't hear about diabetes back in them days because people would burn that excess fat out of their body because they were doing hard work. I'm not saying that you have to work like a slave. I'm saying get up off your behind and find something to do every morning. Find something to do, Get out there when the sun come up. You got to wait until it get real hot. Get out there and find something in the yard to do. Start your garden, Go to one of your friends' house. They need some improvement around the house. Do something like that. Keep that body active, And find out from your doctor what type of food that you need to eat to keep you healthy. Back in the old days, they had that lard. That lard was for them pigs, And it was high in cholesterol and it was giving people high blood pressure, causing a whole lot of strokes, My great-great-great-grandmother, she passed away of a stroke from having that lard. That lard, it turned to white. You ever seen lard, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
I've seen crystal oil. Is that the same?
No. You see.
Different generation.
Okay, when you cook pork chop, and you let that grease be on the side, right?
I don't eat pork chops.
But I'm saying you don't seen it.
Yeah.
That's considered lard,
Okay.
And that's why I stress to the young generation, and the parents, get them children in activity. I hope, do they still have the physical fitness program at the school anymore? I didn't take it out.
I don't know. DeMario's like almost 30 years old. So my child that I have, and the only ones that I'm dealing with now are like elementary school. And I think that they do have little stuff for them to run around in the playground. But the physical fitness test, we used to do the run to pick up the eraser and then run back.
They call that shadow run.
Shadow run?
Yeah, shadow run, yeah.
So we used to do that when I was coming up. DeMario had physical fitness too, my son. So I don't know what this generation is doing. But to me, I still go back to this because this is how I was as a parent. If they don't do something in the school, you as a parent, I know sometimes you get tired when you get off from work and there's certain things that you don't want to do, but you have to do things to get these children physically fit and just tired so they go to bed at night and so that you can have some peace. I don't understand this mindset of just like, okay, when I get off from work, I'm going to get some fast food for my kids and then everybody gets to do whatever they want and then that's it. They can go to bed. Like, we have children that we know they go to bed whenever they want to go to bed. And that's really weird because my mom made us, like, shut it down at 9 o'clock. There's children that I know that be up until, like, 1. That's really weird to me. Yeah. So, I mean, exercising, eating right, I think that we're failing our children if we're not showing them by example. And then first, I think that's too, where a lot of people look at you, Dad, as an older man and see you out here working. They don't see themselves doing it at their age. They're like, I could be out here, working and doing anything outside. So they don't see themselves doing that. So they're wondering why you as a 73-year-old man would be out here doing it. So it's kind of, for them, it's kind of weird, but they don't know that they're setting themselves backwards if they don't move. You have to move. If you're not going to the gym, if you're not walking outside, if you're not in the garden, if you're not weed eating and pushing a lawnmower, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And when you set yourself up for failure because you're not living by example, you're setting the kids up for failure. That's in my opinion.
You know, look at let me share with my community about the people that lived it longer than anybody else in our community. It was the lawn man.
And the farmers.
And the farmers, yeah.
Yeah.
The lawn man and the farmers. You know, the lawn mans, the Holloways, the McLeans, the Timmons, the McIntyres. I mean, you could go on and on and on. They lived a long, long time because they was out there exercising. Now, let me get back to something. When I came up, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We ate before 7 o'clock. After 7 o'clock, there was no more food. You had to be to the table at 7 o'clock, you know, and eat.
But you know what I'm seeing? In some households, they don't even have dining room tables where they sit down and eat with their children. That's kind of weird to me because my mom always had a dining room table and we would cut off the television and everybody would sit at the table and we would eat. And my grandmother had the same setup. You know, with my granddad, everybody would sit at the dining room table and we would eat. So it's kind of weird seeing other family members or just people with children not have a dining room table where they sit down as a family to eat. How do you even know how your children eat unless you sit down with them? It's not until they go out in public and you see they got food all over their face. They don't know how to use utensils because they're not taught that at home. Nobody's like watching them and telling them that's not the proper way to use a utensil. Hey, don't have all the food on every single finger. Why are you chewing with your mouth open? The children are missing basic skill sets because the adults are not doing what they're supposed to do. And have a dining room table at least and sit down and watch how your children eat.
And another thing, these young people that are coming out of high school now, they're not prepared for the future. What I mean by that, they've been sitting around looking at TV all the time, not going to cut the yard, not doing anything around the house, washing the dishes, you know. And they are afraid to leave the house and go out there in the real world and survive, you know. That's why I really believe they talk about the Job Corps, which
took away.
Mm-hmm. Well, we need a Job Corps. They could, them boot camp programs. We need them boot camp programs, you know, to help the young generation get back in line. Because if they keep on going, ain't nobody gonna take care of no grown man, you know.
They're feminizing them so badly. I mean, it is really, really bad.
You know, and it is at
the children aren't cutting grasses anywhere. Like you see a young male out there cutting grass, you don't even see none of the boys in the community trying to make no money off of cutting grass. No. Simple. That's a simple thing.
And they think that somebody's gonna take care of them the rest of their life, you know. So I ran across this thought. I'm gonna tell you, as a man at 73 years old, I'm not lazy. I can't stay in that bed. When that sun come up or before that sun come up, I have to get up automatically. Get up. I just can't stay in that bed constantly all day.
Yeah.
But this young generation, they can stay in that bed all day long, look at TV all night long. The next day back in the bed, eating up all the food, you know, complaining about this, complaining about that. They want some expensive Air Jordan. We are in a crisis. So we have to take the time and be a role model for the children.
I don't understand how any child these days can have on all that expensive stuff and be doing bad in school.
Yeah.
You look at some of these children report cards, they have like the worst report cards, and yet the parents are still buying them stuff. I wouldn't even care. Like, let me tell you, it was, for me, I acted up on my son if he brought a B. Like, if I know that his standard, like his level was an A, like he could get that A out of biology, and he brought home a B, oh my God, he used to hear it from me. I used to nag. Like, the parents don't nag their children into making good grades, and it's so weird to me because I don't function like that. Everybody in the I know you want to talk, but everybody in the household should be asking the children how they doing in school. Everybody, even the ones outside the household, should be asking to see these children's report cards, because they are not even applying themselves. They're not. Yeah. They're not. And so why they have Jordans? Why?
They need to. They know what they need.
And true religion, whatever else they need.
They need to put that bulletin board back in the classroom. If that bulletin board is in the classroom, they should start them children going back to that bulletin board. Okay.
But you know what? It's not just that though, because if the school is not feeding your child what they need to be successful out in the world, giving them that knowledge, it's your responsibility as a parent. I still made sure that I was teaching my child. I was tired. Corporate America had me working at least 50 to 60 hours a week. But guess what I did? I still made time for my son, education-wise. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. Like, I see the system for what it is and what it does to young Black children. It dummies them down so bad. Like, our children are so smart before they even get into these school system, and then these school systems drive them to be like very complacent and not interested in education, not interested in reading. So for me, I made sure I had other stuff going on with my son outside of school. I never did trust public schools, and not even a private school, to just take over my son's education. That's like weird to me for anybody just to allow that to be the sole source of how your children gain information in this world. That's like weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but another thing, like when I was in college, like they got their computers on the phone, and we had to program the computer, ICs. We had to program the computers with the key punch cards. We had to go there and punch them in cards, the little small cards that you tell. Mm-hmm. And then we have we get a printout that big, and we had to be able to read that printout. They don't have that anymore. You just put the information in, and AI give you the information back. So
it's a lot of passive learning.
Yeah. So when the aux switch comes on, what the young generation gonna do? When the lights get cut off, what are they gonna do? They're gonna sit back and wait till the computers come back on. It's a mess, and it's gonna get worse. So we're gonna have to concentrate on the young generation and get them back in tune into the future. We just had a thought about it. Me and my daughter was talking about it. We just had a thought about it, and we just like to share with the community.
Yeah. So basically, I know we jumped around a lot, but the premise, the whole idea is, what are we as older people who know better? We're supposed to know better, right? What are we going to do to get everybody back on track? In the area of exercising, in the area of education, in the area of eating right, what are we as a people going to do to move our community forward? Because we messing up.
Real bad.
And you can't just say, okay, I could be selfish, right? And be like, well, I did my part. My son is doing well. I did my part. But I don't think like that. If I see any children within my circle, even that's non-family members, if I see them and I see that they're going astray and that they just need somebody else to like give them that seed to grow them in a better direction, I'm going to do that, because I'm not a selfish person. I've done a lot in my life, and I see the benefit of doing all the things that they're supposed to do to be very strong people and independent people. So why not help them in that direction? So I'm not selfish like that. I would hope other people wouldn't be selfish either. So that's just what my thoughts on it.
Okay. So when you have the time, please like and subscribe and give us some feedback on this topic that we've been talking about today. And thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye.